guys, welcome to the Elegantly Banded YouTube channel. I'm so excited to start this journey with you guys. I make TikTok and Instagram videos related to my jewelry making, and I thought it was finally time to cross over into the YouTube space. So today is a very special video. I have never done a video tutorial of this before, which is super exciting. We are making my crystal rings. These are genuine crystals, wire wrapped to perfection, you guys. These rings are just so gorgeous, and I always receive so many compliments on them. They are just the perfect accessory for any outfit. Definitely thought this was the best way to kick off the channel, and let's get into it. Today I am using this crystal, which is beautiful. It is a nice clear quartz, and whenever I am picking out crystals, I always like to do a little moment like this to see how it'll look on my hand, if that's something that would be pretty for a ring. After you start practicing, it is super easy to see which shape is going to work for you and which is not. It's typically the size and shape that I like to go for. I just think they turn out great for rings. And as for where I get them, I do not want to gatekeep anything. I'm going to tell you guys everything I know. I go to a local crystal shop by me, and I'm sure you can find one near you. I know they have a tower at mine where you can turn the tower and dig through all these piles of little crystals and fill up a bag for X amount of money. That is what I do. So I handpick all of these crystals, and I'm there for quite a while. But the payoff is great because I'm able to do this for you guys. Next is the wire. I actually get this wire from Amazon. It is the wire elements from Beadsmith, and it is 20 gauge. So this is the gauge that I found works the best for these rings because it's soft enough to work with, but not that soft that it is gonna break down and not hold its shape. It definitely can be difficult to know what is gonna work for you. I will recommend starting with 20 gauge. The higher the number, the smaller the gauge, and the smaller the number, the thicker the gauge. So replay that part a few times. Hopefully you get what I'm trying to say there. Next, for tools, super simple. Wire cutters. These are perfect for cutting through that wire, which we're gonna need quite a few times throughout this process. Next, I have these needle nose pliers. We'll get a little bit more into that when we get there. I will show you guys exactly what we're gonna do with those. And then next is the ring mandrel. So I have a small one here, which worked for me when I first started making rings. I do have a bigger one here, and it's very heavy and can be a little bit hard to work with. So for the sake of this tutorial, I'm using this. And this is the part of the video where I will say I do have a hack for this. Depending on the size of the ring, you can use a nail polish top. It's about this size, so just depending on what you're making. If it's just a ring for yourself, you can always keep trying it on and tightening. But if you're trying to sell rings, I definitely would recommend getting a ring mandrel at some point. But yeah, this is all you need. Alright, finally we are getting into the good stuff here. To begin, I'm not very good when it comes to measuring my wire. This is something you're gonna have to guess. It depends on the size of your crystal. It depends on the size of the ring that you're going for. Today I am doing a size ring 10. So we are gonna unravel quite a bit of this wire. I like to unravel about 7 times for a ring this size. Once you have unraveled all your wire, we're gonna go ahead and cut, and this is the fun part. So I like to find kind of the middle, and this is when we start going around. It's kind of difficult to understand where to place your hands and to make sure you have a good grip on everything, but I try to tighten as I go and make sure that these are very close together. I'm sorry if some part may be out of focus. I'm trying to learn how to best set up my camera and everything so you guys can see, but also making it so that I can see what I'm doing. It's looking good. We have everything wrapped around 3 times, and I'm bringing them closer, and I'm tightening both ends of it. And now kind of the scary part, because we are going to take the ring off of the mandrel. So go ahead and make sure you're still holding the shape of it. You are going to take the end. So this is the bottom end, this is the top end. Doesn't matter which one you start with, but I'm going to go here with the top one, and I'm bending it down and looping it right under. And we are doing this so that we are creating this loop here that is going to be secure, and it kind of creates the base for our ring. So We're gonna do this to both sides. Our crystal is gonna sit in between this line and the line we're about to create. You have to make sure you're holding these bottom parts here so that they don't loosen up, but I've turned it around, so now this part is on top, and we're gonna do the same thing that we just did. Gonna bring it right under, secure right there. It is secure, and we have a line here and we have the line there. What I always like to do is go ahead and slide it on the mandrel to make sure we have kept it true to size. It is a little wiggly. It's not 100% a 10. Might be a little bit bigger just because depending on how we're holding it, that wire will tend to loosen up a little bit, but that's okay. Here are the sides. So after we have wrapped the wire around from the bottom, so we have that circular shape. Now, I would say this is the very fun part of getting to wrap the wire, the access wire around the crystal. It's great that we have so much extra wire because you don't know how many times you're gonna wrap the wire around the crystal. It just depends on the size. I want this more flat part to be the bottom of the ring, so it sits nice and flush there. And then depending on what feels comfortable for you, you can start on either side of the wire. So I'm gonna start with the bottom and wrap around the middle here and try to tie up the bottoms. Here is where we are bending around the shape of the crystal, because this is how we make sure that crystal is going to be held in place and secure. So I like to make sure that we've wrapped around kind of the middle part right here by the band so that we can still wrap around a few more times going towards the bottom. I would say that it is pretty secure from there, just the 2 times that we've wrapped it around. So now that it's kind of held its spot there, I'm going to go ahead and move to the top here, bring it around. And I always like to hold it like this, make sure that crystal's not going anywhere. My wire is nice and secure in all of these areas here, and I just keep wrapping that part of the ring nice and done. And we can wrap another time around the bottom, another time around the top, whatever you feel like is not going to move that ring. So you want to be able to go like this and not have the ring just fly out. But I would say if you are able to get it nice and flush here, I usually like to have an odd number of rings, but that doesn't always happen. So I'm just gonna move my wire a little bit around. Definitely try and make sure it's all fit nice. So it's good to notice that you don't see any big hoops around here around the ring. The wire is all pretty flush to the crystal. So here I'm gonna go ahead and bring this wire up a little bit so that I can get another wrap around the bottom right there, because I think that would look very nice. Perfect. Now that everything is nice and secure, we are going to do the fun part. I absolutely love doing this part, and this also can be a little tricky. What you're going to want to do is to bring your wires around here and bend it, because we're going to make little coils going down here. The bottom of the ring kind of looks like there, but I bring my coil around and I'm just bringing that wire straight under. As you can see, we did that underneath and we have a nice little coil right there. So we're going to keep going around again, underneath, bring that wire up and around there. And I like to pull, so I'm holding the crystal very tight here between my thumb and my index finger, and with my middle finger I'm holding the bottom, and with my 2 other fingers down here I'm just kind of this is kind of how I'm holding it, just to make sure I have this part nice and secure, and I'm pulling on the coil part here with my thumb. And I like to think when I'm wearing the ring, how many coils are you going to see, how many are going to look nice, especially with a larger ring size and a larger gemstone. And I like to go kind of around maybe 5 times for a larger ring, just so that there's a little more in the coils here. Now this is the part where we're going to cut very flush from the base to there, where I take my cutters and I go straight like this, kind of at like an angle almost. You can see that there is a little bit of a part sticking up right here, and that's why I like to use these to kind of bend it down in place, because it can be very, very sharp. So once you've done that, it's not going to be sticking up as much anymore. And what we just did, we're going to do on the other side. And another thing I like to do is to kind of squeeze that part, the coils, together a little bit if there's any gaps. And when you go like this, you should not feel any sharp edges. And the last thing is bringing it down to your size here, 10, and just double check that it is the size that you wanted, because once you kind of secure up the edges a little bit, get everything wrapped around, your size should be true to where you started. But yeah, that is the crystal ring all finished, you guys. We did it. I think it turned out amazing. Definitely takes a lot of practice to get these done in a way that you want. It is so nice when you finish these and they turned out exactly the way that you wanted. Like I said, depending on the crystal that you're using, the size of it, you know, definitely can be a challenge sometimes, but it is so rewarding when you are done. And so I hope you guys were able to replicate this at home. Again, definitely takes practice. I'll show you kind of sides here. We got that going on. You can see the back. So we have the base parts of the ring and then the wires that we crossed over to do the coils. That is the crystal ring all done and finished. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and if there's anything else you guys would like to see me make or any topics you want me to address, please let me know. And yeah, I will see you guys all in the next video. Bye.